All right, beautiful. So I'm so thankful to be connected with one of our best clients here. John Montoya is absolutely in here crushing it. So John, thanks for taking some time out. I appreciate having you here.
Yeah, thanks for having me here. So I've always been doing what I've always done, which is bringing value to my clients and servicing them. And that's how I've organically grown my business. But having to figure out how to market, that's always been a puzzle for me. And I've tried taking steps to figure out how to do that, but it's always been trial and error. And really, until this program, I did not get consistent appointment set up. So that's why I re-upped with you guys, because it essentially was a no-brainer. You guys made it easy. And having a virtual assistant to work with, that just leveraged my time even more. So it's just been a really phenomenal process from start to beginning.
Amazing. So before working with Legacy, I'm sure you were working with maybe trying other marketing initiatives, maybe direct mail, a couple of the things that maybe were less than successful. So prior to working with Legacy, what were you doing, and then kind of making this transition? How's it been since working with us?
So I've always done marketing to my own clientele, but I did try a lead program where there was radio ads, and that basically got me talking to people who had no idea, why they were reaching out, or they wanted a free book, or just something for nothing, and it wasn't really worth doing. So I was a bit skeptical about the program, but the results have been really good, and it came fast. So I'm totally pleased with how everything is gone from day one.
Love that. Really appreciate that feedback, John. And I guess one question I do have is, anyone who's like debating working with Legacy, what's the first thing that you would say to them?
You got to take action. That's the number one thing. If you don't take action, then nothing ever happens, and you got to be willing to try. A lot of what we all do is trial and error, and this process that you guys have developed, it basically eliminates that, and that's what we as advisors should be looking to do is take action and be willing to fail. And if it doesn't work, then you move on to the next one. But this program has worked, and that's pretty rare in this industry. So I'm pretty pleased.
I love it, man. I really appreciate that. And because there's so many people who are getting burned on a consistent basis. There's, you know, and every marketing system has its ups, it has its downs. There's no
Yeah.
such thing as maybe the perfect turnkey deal. But I think what we've done here, and I'd love to hear you talk about, is we've made it practical for you. We've put in a system that generates leads. You have people to talk to, and better yet, your time is becoming more valuable because you have a virtual assistant who works the system, books the appointments, and really manages and monitors your calendar to keep you efficient. I mean, how has that helped your workflow and improved your just kind of day-to-day and conversation?
It's great. I can look at my calendar, see how many appointments I have for the day, for the week, and know that it's a full day every single day, up to the point where I'm blocking off time because I need some time just to slow down and have some personal time. We're in the age of COVID, so we can really, have as many appointments as we want if we have the right type of system. And so it's at the current pace, it's like I need to carve out time just so I can have a breather and, not do 9, 10, 12 appointments a day, because I think over the long run, it's more about consistency than anything. And so that's what the system provides. It's turnkey and it's reliable.
Amazing. And this is the ultimate question. Everyone's always like, hey, am I closing sales? Am I getting these, sales instantaneously? We both know an annuity specifically as a product, it may be a 2 or 3 step close process, but now you've been with us for 90 days. You've executed some sales. Is that correct? You have some people that are moving forward, and already your pipeline is filling up as you continue to move forward with us. Is that correct?
Absolutely. I wouldn't have gone past the 90 days if that weren't true.
So you went with us with 90 days, and now you've committed for an additional 6 months. Is that correct?
Another 6 months. That's right.
100%. And I mean, frankly, when you look at the future of our partnership, 6 months, it's kind of an arbitrary number. I'm sure we're going to be together for the long haul. Is that right?
As long as you guys keep doing what you're doing, I see that happening.
100%.
Absolutely.
100%, John. I'm just trying to think about anything else that we could uncover here. I mean, overall, how big would you say, um, the possible potential assets under management that you'll potentially be working here with some of these annuity deals over the first 90 days. My question is, can you give me a rough number as to what you plan to fully execute just from the first 90 days of effort here?
First 90 days, over $2 million in annuity production. On the whole life side, I've got deals that average case size is over 20,000 premium a year.
Yes.
And I've got easily a handful of those. Those take a little bit more time
Mhm.
to mature, but they're there. And the great thing is that those are like low hanging fruit for me because that's been the bread and butter of my business
Mhm.
for over 13 years.
Amazing. So just for clarity, first 90 days, you have $2 million already executed, and that's not including the additional whole life conversations, whole life cases that you're actually closing as well, using this system and working these leads for what's available.
Absolutely. And the great part is that on the whole life side too, these are larger ticket cases.
Mm,
So that means the average case size compared to what I'm used to because I'm mixing income planning into it
mhm,
because that's really where the core message is.
mhm,
The case sizes are bigger. So it's just been really amazing to work with these people to address a need and bring incredible value to them that they didn't know existed because they're stuck in a basically an all market based world and the solutions that really are left them wanting for more security, more peace of mind, everything that advisors like myself on this side of the business can offer. So it's phenomenal. It's been a great fit.
Amazing. Thanks so much, John. Truly appreciate all this feedback. Last question here is, you know, how long have you been in business, right? Because this is what people want to hear. People want to hear credibility. How long have you been in business? Um, and I guess, what are you excited about for the future? Now you have a legacy marketing as a partnership to grow your business, create consistency, have booked appointments, people to talk to. How many years have you been in business? And then what are you excited about for the future in our partnership here?
Sure. So I went out on my own 13 years ago, but my first foray into financial services was actually 1998. Got started with John Hancock back then, making my $200 a day selling long-term care insurance. So that was my grind. And so doing this is a long way from those days where you were just dialing for dollars. Can't do that anymore.
Mhm.
So this is just a great fit, especially in these times. I was.
Can't hear you. Can't hear you, John, for some reason.
Can you hear me now?
Yep, hear you now.
Okay. All right.
The internet was unstable. So last thing you said was you're with John Hancock. Now you've been independent now, running your own practice for 13 years. And obviously, the reason why I'm so passionate about this solution and what we do, first off, whole life and annuities are going to put the most money in your pocket as a producer, right? As an advisor. But better yet, we all needed to go through this transitionary period with COVID here to be able to create warm opportunities in a telesales environment, driving sales using Zoom. I mean, look at you, man. You have a perfect setup. You have your background. You have a microphone. I mean, you were ready to go through this transition. And I think a lot of people just, if they're on the fence just from making that transition from telesales, or excuse me, from face-to-face appointments, face-to-face deals to now moving to telesales, what would you say to that person? And what are maybe 2 or 3 tips that you have for them to be successful quickly?
Well, this is where it's at. The funny thing is I was already doing this. I have an office that I keep for the people who would like to meet face to face,
Mhm.
but I only get in there maybe 5 to 6 times a year. And part of that is because I am nationwide. I have been working virtually for 5 years now. So this really, the COVID thing didn't really impact my business, other than maybe I have more competition online. So that was the only change, but it's good because it forces you to be more efficient in your business, and
Mm,
you got to figure out ways to stay relevant in this environment. And if you're not going virtual, you're I hate to say it, but you're stuck in the dinosaur age, and we can't meet with people face to face nowadays anyway. So if you're not virtual 100%, I mean, you're really being left behind. You've got to get on this track to where you're comfortable being in front of the camera and you're comfortable meeting with people, because at the end of the day, you're just having a conversation with people. And
That's,
whether you're doing that through the computer or, face to face, in the end, it doesn't matter. The value you bring is what matters most.
man, so true. I love it. Yeah, and I love the fact that the internet has made us infinitely scalable, right? Like if
That's
you're
right.
on the fence, if you want to add a couple more licenses to your opportunities, right? If you're in one state, two states, why don't you add a couple more licenses? I don't know, what is it, $30, $50 maximum, $100 per state, and small
Well,
ongoing
some states want more. Some states want more, but that's a different story. But
yeah.
here's the bigger takeaway. You get to be incredibly more efficient. So instead of driving around and maybe doing 3 or 4 appointments a day, you can do literally 8, 10, 12 appointments a day. Just be careful you don't burn yourself out, because that's a lot of appointments. But that's the reality. You can be way more efficient with your time.
Yep. Thanks to our partnership. And again, I guess I could kind of speak on it and you can please advocate for this, but you now have a new problem. You have too many appointments and not enough personal time, which is, I'm pretty sure, the problem that everybody wants. Is you have so many people to talk to now that you need to literally put in time gaps for personal time. Is that correct?
That's correct. That's
100%, man. Any final thoughts before we wrap this up?
You struck me cold. I think I've given you my best. So yeah, I guess the last thought I would leave anyone listening to this video with is take action, because the worst thing you can do is have fear and anxiety about your next steps in business. And if you're asking people that you don't even know to do business with you, you're asking for a leap of faith. And here you are, you're at the crossroads yourself, about ready to take a leap of faith. You got to be willing to take that leap of faith if you expect your prospective clients to do the exact same thing.
Love that, man. And I could tell literally from the day that our partnership kicked off, based on my conversation with Eric, who's the person who initially helped to work with you, man, he told me you were a true professional and you were somebody who's going to make it work no matter what the situation was. So a lot of great takeaways. I hope this provides value for anyone looking. And man, John, seriously, thank you very much for all that you do. Thank you for your partnership, and thanks
You're
for
welcome.
taking time for us. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
You got
Thank
it,
you.
man.